87% of millionaires in America own a business. But here's what nobody tells you. The majority of them don't own a tech company, a restaurant, or anything you'd brag about at dinner. They own boring businesses. Coin laundromats, vending routes, storage facilities, things you drive past without a second look. You've been watching the wrong people. The loudest guys online are usually the brokest. The quiet ones, the ones who never post, are the ones building real wealth. By the end of this video, you'll know the 6 exact business models that made one regular guy financially free by 38, the 3 filters he used to pick his first one with only $4,000 in savings, and the specific month his side income crossed his day job salary. Oh, and one more thing. Boring businesses have an 80% 5-year survival rate. Startups? 10%. Stay with me. Meet Marcus. At 29, he was a logistics coordinator in Columbus, Ohio. He took home $3,400 a month, but between student loans and credit cards, his net worth was negative $200. He wasn't miserable, just stuck. He tried everything. $780 on Shopify ads for phone accessories that never sold, a crypto phase where with $200 turned into $340, and a streetwear brand that ended with 4 hoodies sold to his cousins. If any of those hit close to home, good. It means you're paying attention. Everything changed one Thursday at midnight. Marcus found a quote, "Wealth is built by systems that generate value while you sleep." He wrote it on a sticky note and made a choice. For the next year, finding a real system was his only goal. What he found next, he almost talked himself out of. Now you're probably thinking, Penny, laundromats are for people with real money. I don't have $50,000 sitting around. And you're right to be skeptical. Most people think you need a massive bank loan just to get started. But Marcus didn't go to a bank. He went to Facebook Marketplace. He found a retiring owner in East Columbus who was tired of fixing pipes and ready to move to Florida. The place was small, just 9 machines in a working-class neighborhood. The asking price was $18,000. Marcus only had $4,000. Instead of walking away, he offered a seller finance deal. He gave the owner the $4,000 upfront and agreed to pay $400 a month for the next 3 years. No credit check, no mountain of paperwork, just a handshake and a contract. But let's talk about the month 1 reality check, because I'm not here to sell you a fairy tale. That first month was brutal. The machines brought in $1,240 in total. After Marcus paid the water bill, the electricity, and that $400 payment to the old owner, he was left with exactly $610. He had spent his entire savings, and he was only making $600 a month. He almost quit. He realized that a boring business isn't a magic button. It's a machine that needs a better operator. So Marcus made 3 small tweaks. First, he noticed people walking in, seeing the quarters only sign, and walking out. He spent a little money to add a card reader to the machines. Suddenly, the customers who didn't carry cash came back. Second, he noticed one dryer had a broken sign on it for months. He paid $220 for a simple repair. That one single dryer started bringing in an extra $300 every month, just by being available. Finally, he did something the old owner was too tired to do. He posted a bright sign in the window, "Open until 10 p.m. He became the only late-night option in a 2-mile radius. By month 6, the math looked completely different. Without buying a single new machine or moving to a fancy neighborhood, Marcus was netting $2,189 a month. The business hadn't changed, but the way it was run had. That's $2,189 that didn't require Marcus to clock in a single extra hour at his day job. Success in boring businesses usually isn't about having one big idea. It's about keeping your eyes open while you work the first one. Marcus discovered his second stream of income completely by accident. One afternoon at the laundromat, he watched a guy walk in, unlock a vending machine in the corner, and swap out the snacks. The whole process took 11 minutes. As the guy was leaving, Marcus saw him bag up about 140 Bs in cash. Marcus asked him how many machines he managed. The guy said 22. Marcus sat in his car afterward and did the math. If one machine could do that in a few days, 22 machines were a gold mine. He didn't rush out and buy a fleet of new equipment. Instead, he stayed hyper-local. He found 3 used machines on Craigslist for $900 total. He didn't want to drive all over Ohio, so he focused on what I call compounding geography. He looked for spots within 1.5 miles of his laundromat. He landed 2 spots in auto repair waiting rooms and 1 in a busy neighborhood barbershop. Now, his territory was small enough to manage on a lunch break. In the first month, those 3 machines brought in $340. It wasn't life-changing, but it was proof. However, Marcus noticed something. In the auto repair shops, people weren't just looking for a sugar rush. They were often waiting for hours and getting hungry. He made a simple tweak. He swapped the cheap chips and sugary candy for protein bars, trail mix, and sports drinks. These items cost more, but people were willing to pay a premium for a real snack. This one change gave him a 40% higher profit on every single item sold. By month 8, Marcus had grown his route to 7 machines by reinvesting every penny he made from the first 3. He was netting $100 a month from vending alone. Think about the power of that for a second. The laundromat gave him a reason to be in that neighborhood, and that territory gave him the vending route. He didn't need to find a new world to conquer. He just needed to look deeper into the one he was already in. It was 2 boring businesses feeding each other, building a wall of income that his day job could no longer ignore. By now, Marcus was starting to see the world differently. Opportunities weren't just things on the news. They were all around him. A coworker mentioned that his uncle was looking to retire and sell a small 28-unit storage facility just outside Columbus. The price was $185,000. For the first time, Marcus was looking at a deal that was too big for his bank account. Even with the cash flowing from the laundromat and the vending machines, he couldn't do this alone. So he called his childhood friend Darius, who had $30,000 saved up and was tired of his money sitting in a savings account. Together, they put $60,000 down and secured an SBA loan for the rest. I want to be honest with you. This one scared him. Up until now, Marcus had been playing a small, safe game. But this was different. It involved a much larger amount of capital, a legal partnership, and a totally different risk profile. Everything that made the laundromat feel safe was gone. He was worried about what would happen if the units stayed empty, or if the bank called in the loan. How did he decide to pull the trigger? He didn't guess. He ran the deal through 3 specific filters, the same ones I'm going to show you in a few minutes. When the storage facility checked yes on all 3, he knew he had to move forward. The numbers proved he was right. After paying the bank and the insurance, Marcus's share of the profit was about $1,400 every month. When you add that to his other businesses, the math becomes incredible. Laundromat plus vending plus his share of the storage units equaled $4,689 a month in net profit. Remember, his regular logistics job only paid him $3,400. That was the moment. In month 14 of his journey, Marcus's boring empire officially beat his salary. He was no longer working for his money. His systems were working for him. But here is the real secret. It wasn't actually about the laundromat. It wasn't about the vending machines, and it wasn't about the storage units. It was the pattern. Once Marcus saw the pattern behind these boring businesses, he couldn't unsee it. And once you see it, your entire financial life will change. Even though Marcus was busy with his 3 businesses, he never stopped researching. He wanted to see if this pattern worked in other places, and that's when he found ATM routes. This is a business Marcus looked into deeply but didn't build yet, simply because he was already at capacity. But the numbers are too good to ignore. Here is how it works. You own the machine and place it in a high-traffic spot like a liquor store or a busy gas station. Every time someone withdraws cash, they pay a surcharge of $3. You give the store owner a small cut, maybe 50 cents, and you keep the rest. Think about the math on that. A single ATM in a great location can bring in $800 to $500 every month in gross profit. If you scale that up to a small route of just 6 machines, you're looking at $60,000 to $90,000 a year. To see this in the real world, look at a postal worker in Dallas who decided to try this out. Over 18 months, he built a route of 9 machines. Today, he earns $6,200 a month in profit, while only working about 5 hours a week to refill the cash and check the receipts. The reason this fits the pattern is simple. First, the customers pay you immediately and repeatedly. There is no chasing people for money or sending out invoices. Second, the machine itself is the asset. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't ask for a raise, and it does the exact same job 24 hours a day. Marcus realized that whether it's a washer, a vending machine, or an ATM, the principle is the same. You are providing a small, convenient service that people are happy to pay a few dollars for, over and over again. It's not about being a genius. It's about owning the machine that solves a tiny problem. If the ATM is about small, quick wins, then the car wash is the heavyweight champion of boring businesses. This is where we see the most powerful secret in finance: the membership model. Most people look at a car wash and see a place to get soap and water. But savvy owners see a subscription service. Instead of hoping for rain to stop so people show up, they charge a monthly fee of $30 to $50 for unlimited washes. It's all on autopay. You don't have to send a single invoice or chase anyone down for a check. The money just hits the bank account every single month, whether it rains or shines. Let's look at why the math is so impressive. A single bay automatic wash with just 400 members can bring in about $16,000 a month in gross revenue. Because these businesses often include the land they sit on, they are incredibly stable assets. In the industry, the return on investment, what experts call cap rates, usually sits between 15% and 25%. Compare that to a traditional rental house that might only give you 5%, and you can see why the quiet rich love these tunnels of soap. Take the case of a former teacher in Arizona. She didn't build a new car wash from scratch. She bought a failing one for $210,000 using an SBA loan. It was run down and only taking cash. She cleaned it up and added a membership program. Within 11 months, she hit $22,000 a month in gross revenue. By shifting the business from a maybe today model to a membership everyday model, she completely changed her life. This business perfectly fits our pattern. The payments are recurring, meaning they happen over and over again without you doing extra work. Once you have a small staff or a reliable automated system in place, it becomes a low-touch operation. Plus, you have a real piece of real estate underneath it all. You aren't just selling a clean car. You're building a membership machine on top of a valuable asset. It's a double win that most people drive right past every morning on their way to work. While car washes and laundromats are physical places you can walk into, there is another boring business that is practically invisible, even though you see it every day. I'm talking about digital billboards. You've seen them along the highway, the big screens that change every 10 seconds to show a new ad. Most people think these are owned by giant corporations, but many are run by regular people who understand how to lease space. Here is the magic of the digital version. Instead of selling one giant vinyl poster to one company for a month, you can rotate 6 to 8 different ads on one single screen. The numbers in this business are staggering because the overhead is so low. In a mid-sized city, one digital billboard can generate between $3,000 and $8,000 a month. You don't usually have to own the land either. You pay the landowner a monthly lease fee to keep your sign there, and you keep everything else that the advertisers pay you. For example, look at a 34-year-old operator in Tennessee. He pays a local landowner just $400 a month for the ground rights. His board grosses $500 to $200 a month from local businesses like law firms and car dealerships. He spends about 3 hours a week updating the digital files from his laptop at home. This business passes our pattern check with flying colors for one specific reason: the moat. In the business world, a moat is something that protects you from competition. Getting a permit for a new billboard is incredibly difficult in most cities. Once you have the permit and the sign is installed, a competitor can't just set up a sign right next to yours. The location is the asset. You have a locked-in spot that local businesses need to reach their customers. It is low maintenance, high profit, and completely boring, which is exactly why it works so well. It's about owning the attention of the people driving past, and that attention is worth more than most people realize. Here's the lesson Marcus wishes he'd understood at 22. Every single business in this video passes 3 simple yes or no questions. If you are looking at a business idea and it misses even one of these, walk away. These are the filters that separate a stressful side hustle from a wealth-building machine. Filter number 1. Do customers pay at least monthly, and do they do it without being chased? Think about the businesses we've covered. In a laundromat, people pay every single visit. For vending, the cash is there every time you refill the snacks. Storage units and car washes use monthly autopay. If you have to spend your weekends sending out invoices, calling people to ask where your money is, and following up on late payments, you don't own a system. You just own a job that has a lot of paperwork. Real systems collect money automatically. Filter number 2. Is each purchase decision low drama? This is a big one. Nobody agonizes over putting quarters in a dryer. Nobody calls 3 friends to get a second opinion before buying a Snickers bar. When a purchase is low drama, it means there is very little emotion involved. High drama purchases, like selling expensive coaching or custom cars, lead to people changing their minds, asking for refunds, and creating a lot of emotional stress for you. Low drama equals low maintenance. You want a business where the customer's decision is so easy, they don't even have to think about it. Filter number 3. Can you eventually own or control the asset underneath the cash flow? This is the difference between getting a paycheck and building a fortune. Cash flow pays your rent today, but assets build your wealth for tomorrow. You need both. In a laundromat, the machines and the lease are assets. A storage facility is real property that goes up in value. Even a billboard permit is a special kind of right that you can sell later for a lot of money. If you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you have to stop looking for gigs and start looking for filters. Run every single business idea you have through those 3 questions. Does it pay without chasing? Is it low drama? Do you own the asset? If the answer is no to any of them, keep walking. There are plenty of boring, beautiful businesses out there waiting for you. By the time Marcus turned 38, his life looked nothing like it did when he was stuck in that logistics job. He didn't build a tech empire, but he built something better: freedom. Today, his 2 laundromats bring in $4,100 a month. His route of 22 vending machines adds another $2,900. His share of the storage facility brings in $400, and a car wash he bought at age 35 nets him $3,200. That is a total cash flow of about $11,600 every single month. His net worth is now over $1.1 million when you count the value of the businesses and the property. He quit his day job at 36 and never looked back. And the craziest part, he never posted about it on Instagram. He just stayed quiet and stayed focused. If you want to start building your own boring empire, I want you to take 3 specific actions starting tonight. First, pick one boring category and search for it in your city. Go to websites like BizBuySell, LoopNet, or even Facebook Marketplace. Type in laundromat for sale or vending route for sale. Don't buy anything yet. Just look at the listings to train your eye to see what is actually out there. Second, take every listing you find and run it through our 3 filters. Does it have recurring payments? Is it a low-drama purchase? Do you own the asset underneath? If it's 3 yes votes, save it. If there is even 1 no, move on to the next. Third, you need to change the main question you are asking. Stop asking what business could go viral, and start asking, what boring business in my city already has an owner who wants to retire? Success isn't about being the first person to have an idea. It's about being the person who takes over a system that already works. Marcus didn't invent anything. He didn't go viral. He didn't raise millions of dollars from investors. He just found businesses that already worked, and he bought them. The owner before him was tired. Marcus was just starting. If you want the exact search filters Marcus used to find those undervalued listings, I have that breakdown ready for you in the next video. I'll link it right here.